Good evening. I'm James Bensinger, and this is News Extreme, bringing you the latest on U.S. foreign policy and the growing controversy surrounding Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Tonight, Secretary of State Marco Rubio finds himself at the center of a political storm, facing criticism for the Trump administration's evolving stance on Russia, a position that stands in stark contrast to his historically hawkish views. Shifting policies draw scrutiny. President Donald Trump's latest foreign policy moves, including threats of tariffs and sanctions to push for a Russia-Ukraine ceasefire, mark a noticeable shift from the administration's previous overtures toward Russian President Vladimir Putin. While the White House insists these moves are aimed at negotiating peace, they have done little to silence critics, particularly those who see Russia as a threat to global stability. Rubio, a longtime opponent of Russia's influence, particularly in Latin America, now faces backlash from Americans who believe the administration has been too lenient toward Putin. The criticism follows Trump's heated exchange with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, in which Trump suggested that Ukraine, not Russia, started the war, a claim that further fueled concerns. Criticism from Rubio's own base. Rubio, a Cuban-American politician, has long been vocal against Russia's support for authoritarian regimes in Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. However, his recent role in the Trump administration has left many of his supporters questioning his stance. A Miami Herald letter to the editor called out Rubio, asking how he can sleep at night, while being part of an administration that is eager to work with Russia, the same country that keeps socialist Cuba afloat with oil shipments. Another reader compared Trump's embrace of Putin to Fidel Castro's close ties with Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev in 1961. In response, Rubio has defended the administration's actions in multiple interviews, stating that Trump is simply trying to find a diplomatic path toward peace in Ukraine. All the president is trying to do here is figure out if there's a path towards peace. We have to engage both sides, the Russians and the Ukrainians, Rubio told Fox News. The challenge of balancing diplomacy and ideology. Historically, Rubio has been one of Russia's most outspoken critics, particularly in its involvement in Latin America. Just last year, he co-sponsored a resolution condemning Cuba's close ties to Russia, China, and Iran, after Russian warships docked in Havana. For many Cuban exiles and pro-democracy activists, Russia is not just a distant foreign power, it is a direct enabler of the oppressive regimes they fled. Anandi Ramos, a Cuban activist, says that while there is still uncertainty about the administration's full intentions, staying silent is not an option. Softening with Russia affects us, and as activists, we cannot take our eyes off this, not even for a second, she said. However, some in the Venezuelan exile community support Trump's approach. Ernesto Ackerman, a leader of the group Independent Venezuelan American Citizens, defended the administration, saying, Trump is trying to end a war where there has been great loss of life. His goal is peace. Rubio's political future at stake. Despite concerns over U.S.-Russia relations, Rubio remains a key figure in the administration, and some political analysts suggest this situation could boost his political future. Eduardo Gamarra, a professor of international relations at Florida International University, believes Rubio is in a high-risk, high-reward situation. If he successfully facilitates peace talks, it could significantly elevate his political standing. Imagine a situation where Rubio is able to preside over a peace process. That almost guarantees him a huge political bump, Gamarra explained. A complicated foreign policy approach. The Trump administration has taken a mixed approach to foreign relations with Latin America and Russia. While it revoked Chevron's license to pump oil in Venezuela, returned Cuba to the state sponsors of terrorism list, and imposed tariffs on Mexico, it also ended cyber operations against Russia and stopped efforts to seize Russian oligarchs' assets. This inconsistency has led some to question whether Rubio's foreign policy credibility is being undermined. As the administration continues to navigate its relationship with Russia, Rubio's ability to maintain his long-standing tough stance while serving under Trump's evolving policies will be closely watched. Stay tuned to News Extreme for ongoing coverage. I'm James Bensinger. Back to you.